Good early afternoon. We are live here on the Blue Plate Special. I'm Andy Andrews, and we're at Wisdom Harbor Studios here at the Wharf in Orange Beach, Alabama. It's a beautiful day in Orange Beach. It's sunny and orange. And if you come visit us, please do come visit us and come upstairs and hang out in the studio. We've got an amazing area out here with all the books and the museum pieces and everything. We got a lot of people here today watching the Blue Plate Special. We're glad to have you guys all here. Also, when you visit, don't forget to have your picture taken on the amazing escalator statues that we have here. Heather Olson, hey, from Utah. Shark fishers from Utah. Marcy Carlson Taylor, good morning from Eastern Washington. It is morning there, I guess. So anyway, Margaret Davis drinking Just Jones Java, eagerly awaiting your show in Mississippi. Good. Do you like the coffee? I mean, I'm just amazed because I used to drink a lot of coffee. And in fact, when I was writing The Lost Choice, I would drink like 8 or 9 cups during the day. But then something happened, and I just didn't like it anymore. I liked the smell. I always thought that I liked it, but every time I'd taste it, ugh. But then the Just Jones Java came along, and it's not acidic. I don't even have to. Forever I would drink like sissy coffee, with like lots of sugar and lots of cream. And, I'd have a little coffee with my sugar and cream. But the Just Jones Java, I just have a little sugar in it, and it's just amazing. Hey, if you're new to us, if you're joining us on, what? What would they be joining us on?
YouTube? Facebook?
On YouTube,
Twitter?
yeah. If you're on YouTube, press the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, press the notification button. And turn on the notifications on your phone, too. So that way, then when we go live, you'll be notified that we're live. And also share. If you're on Facebook, please share to your page. Instagram, Twitter, how are you guys? Betty Rayford, good morning from Sacramento. Jim Midall from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Jeff Herring, hey, buddy. In search of a healthy dose of perspective this week. Okay, we can give you some. George Cosser, happy Tuesday. Kat Hooker, howdy, from Spring City, Tennessee. Patricia Clapp from Washington, North Carolina. David from Central Minnesota. Janice Burrell from Calhoun, Georgia. Janice Burrell, is your friend? Because I know that Joy is here from Calhoun, Georgia. I'm like, I saw Calhoun, Georgia. I'm like, wait. Linda Rogers from Texas. Deanna Kilpatrick, good afternoon. And please share. Oh, how do you like the shirt? The shirt is today, it's from Ricky Ridge Taxidermy Studio. This is Clint Rickey, the world champion taxidermist. I mean, seriously. In fact, go back on the professional noticers and see the interview with Clint Rickey. It's very, very interesting. But this guy is actually the best in the world. Won the world championship. And here, let me show you the back of the shirt. So here's the back of the shirt. Ricky Ridge Taxidermy Studio in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. Thank you for the shirt, Clint. Eva Jean Hodge, Elkin, North Carolina. And you love the coffee. It's the only coffee you drink now. I got a picture of Bill Gaither with his noticer cup, with his Jones cup, and drinking the coffee. So I was like, I would really appreciate that. Linda Rogers Coleman, you read the noticer, notice returned. You just finished Just Jones. Good. It's your favorite? Good. You need to come visit us in the studio and see. Over here is the Jones case. It's got the the suitcase from the first thing. It's got the hat from the Crazy Lady and Jess Jones. And it also has, I have an autographed picture from Oliver Sutherland. So, Carol Brandt, this is your first time. We're glad to have you here. I mentioned we have guests in the studio today, and look, let me tell you what I got. I got black jellybird eggs from Joy. Jellybird eggs. Now, I like black jelly beans. I really like black jelly, but I have not had any jellybird eggs. So I'm really looking forward to this. And also, there is an author in today, and I just love this book. This is Kristen Lee, and it's the Ocean Springs book. It's a children's book, and I think the book looks great. I haven't read it yet, but the art in the book is terrific. And, I mean, look. So, anyway, that is the Ocean Springs book. And Kristen is from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. So, this is great. I appreciate that very much. Today, we are going to talk about Mother's Day around the world. All right. We have Mother's Day coming up. The other day, Austin was on the show with me, and we showed a couple of what he's offering for Mother's Day. This is Mama's secret weapon. All right. This is actually, it's like a dual purpose secret weapon, because when Mama would cook the gumbo or the soup, everybody would always think, how are you not burning the roux? Everybody seems to burn the roux or burn the stock, and it's actually this particular kind of wooden spoonish thing, and it has a very fine end on it, and it's tilted. And so, you know how when you do the bottom of the roux or the soup stock with a spoon, you're only getting a little bit of it off the bottom, but this moves all of it off the bottom. And so it's Mama's secret weapon as to why she didn't burn the roux. And it's also Mama's secret weapon because she used it on the bottoms of her boys. And these are all, these are handmade, and they're all marked with his Austin Legacy Knives logo here, and they're marked 1 of 1 because they're all individually handmade. And you can get the curved handle or the straight handle. There's a link we're putting on there for you, and the link is right to his site. And so he's got these on sale, on a Mother's Day sale, that I think it's the cypress is $29 and the oak is $39, and you can get either the straight or the curved, and has a little leather hanger thing. So there you go. That's Mama's secret weapon from Austin's Legacy Knives. So now, who is saying this? Kathy Goodwin says, Elvis spent a summer in Ocean Springs. Did you know this? Elvis did? I just like, okay, Elvis is, Polly and Dan, our preacher that left us, they love Elvis. My wife loves Elvis. And so she'll probably go to Ocean Springs now that she knows that Elvis spent time there. Hey, Kevin Perkins, how are you doing, buddy? And Judson Perkins, hey, taking care of your daddy. I tease Polly about Elvis because she just thinks Elvis was great. And I'm not denying he was great, but it's a good thing. Should I say this? it was a good thing for his career that he died when he did. I'm just saying. Because I say to Polly, I tell her, I say, if Elvis was alive today, he would be a fat Engelbert Humperdinck in Las Vegas, going, so look, bring me my jelly donuts and my pills. That's probably what it'd be like. But he died at the right time. My senior year in high school is when Elvis died. I'll tell you a story. Now, you've seen Joe Bonzel on the Professional Noticer. Joe Bonzel is the tenor from the Oak Ridge Boys and a great friend. And years ago, when I was touring as a comedian, I would be around these people all the time. And one day, Randy Travis was also a really good friend of mine. You can go on YouTube and see a thing of me and Randy. Like I talked him into acting like a tent was his home. We need to find that and show that sometime. But anyway, but I was sitting around one day with Randy, Joe Bonzel, a couple of the Oaks were there. I think Tanya Tucker was there. There's a couple of these people, and Randy had just had Forever and Ever Amen. All right. Now Randy was just the greatest guy, and he was a little naive. When he started, I met him right when he had Digging Up Bones, which is like, I think the first or second. I think On the Other Hand was first, and then Digging Up Bones, or the other way. But they we're sitting around talking, and we're talking about the longevity of a career and how to keep a career going and how to, and Kathy Goodwin says, didn't mean to derail the topic. We'll be back to Mother's Day in just a minute. But so anyway, so we're sitting around, we're talking about the longevity of a career. And somebody says to Randy, well, you have it going on right now, but just know there's, Forever and Ever Amen was the biggest hit he had. And they said, just know that there's ups and downs. And Bonzel said, Randy, there is something you can do right now, and it will cement your career, and you will be as famous as you are right now forever. There's one thing that you could do. And Randy said, what is that, Joe? And Joe said, die. If you die right now, you'll be famous forever. and Randy was like, oh, Joe. I thought it was very funny. Okay, we're going to talk about Mother's Days around the world. Now, in America, it's always the second Sunday, right? The second Sunday in May, isn't that right? And so, and I remember Mother's Day when I was a little kid. And when I was a little kid, I was very interested in the fact that in church, some people would wear red flowers and some guys would wear white flowers. And my mom told me then that the people wearing red flowers, that their moms were still alive. And the people wearing white flowers, their moms had passed away. And so when I was doing this research for the Mother's Day around the world, I found that again. And I'd forgotten that because I guess people are not wearing flowers to church anymore. But, the American celebration of Mother's Day in the United States goes back to 1908 when a lady named Anna Jarvis had the idea for a day to honor the sacrifices that mothers made for their kids. And so she just like got after it, and she was probably funded by Hallmark cards or something, but her persistence led to the official establishment of Mother's Day on the second Sunday of May in 1914. All right, so now Mother's Day is it's probably the biggest day for card companies of the year, but it's celebrated every year in the United States. And of course, mothers take the day off from household work. This is Mother's Day, and kids cook for them or they take them out to eat. And I thought it was odd that carnations are that's our official Mother's Day flower. Carnations, which I think carnations are like funeral flowers. But I think most people just give their moms the flowers that their moms like. Polly likes tulips, and so we give her tulips for Mother's Day. Poor girl can't seem to grow a tulip. She plants those tulips every year. They come up and they have the flowers, but they're like this tall. I mean, they're like little miniature tulips. And she's like, I don't know why I can't. And we just like laugh. I bet, but she'll get them different places and they'll grow that tall. Like, anyway. But the flowers, the red flowers and the white flowers, is a custom that is unique to the USA. And so wearing a red flower on that day indicates a living mother, while wearing a white flower honors a deceased one. Okay, so in Mexico, La Dia de la Madre in Mexico. This has an interesting history. A Mexican magazine called El Hogar, which is not about hogs, evidently, got together with the Association of Catholic Ladies and published an article on the ties of motherhood and traditional Mexican values. And so I don't know if they stole it from us or whatever, but they do it on the same. It's on Mother's Day is celebrated on the 10th of May. So not necessarily a Sunday, just on the 10th of May. And it was 1922 so they stole it from us. I'm thinking they stole it from us. But soon the festival, the La Dia Madre festival, assumed sacred connotations, and it gained widespread acceptance. So May 10th is a busy day for Mexico. Everybody goes out for lunch and dinner and eats Mexican food, I'm sure, which I guess if you're in Mexico, it's all Mexican food, isn't it? You go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's Mexican food in Mexico. But the restaurants are packed. And in Mexico, you have to make reservations weeks in advance to get into a restaurant in Mexico. Weeks in advance. And children present their mothers with flowers, candies, and gifts, and they often stage small plays. So, little actors. Now, Peru, here is Peru. Mother's Day in Peru is, this is quite a tradition, because they must not have a lot to do in Peru, because instead of one day, it's Mother's Week. It's a week. And families organize dinners and lunches and parties and trips throughout the week, and musical performances and art and mothers. Plus, in Peru, mothers can visit museums, exhibitions, and festivals for free during the week. And children shower their mothers with flowers and gifts, and they recite poems and stories for them. Now, one very unique aspect of Mother's Day celebrations in Peru is that they honor their dead mothers too, probably with carnations. But people visit the graves of their deceased mothers, grandmothers, wives, and offer flowers, probably carnations, and balloons. So Balloons, that seems kind of cheap to put on a grave, doesn't it? It just seems kind of cheap. But it's Peru. They probably can't get, I mean, what would you put that's expensive on a grave? A pot roast, I guess. I don't know. But just balloons just seem kind of cheap to put on a grave. But it's Peru. So in England, Mother's Day in the UK is celebrated on the fourth Sunday of Lent every year. Now, that means it's a couple of months ahead of the American Mother's Day. They still probably stole it from us. But UK, the United Kingdom's Mother's Day, is also known by a different name. Now get this, it's called Mothering Sunday. And years ago, the day had nothing to do with mothers. Instead, it was a day when Christians would visit their mother church. So they called it Mothering Sunday. Mothering Day. And so children usually would give gift cards and flowers to their mothers and make them breakfast in bed. And one of the most important rituals, evidently on Mothering Day in the UK, one of the most important rituals is to prepare a simnel cake. Now, when I found this out, I had to look up what a simnel cake was. And like many things prepared in England, it doesn't appear to be anything I'd want to eat. They don't have good food there. I'm just telling you. I've been there several times. They don't have good food. It's and a simnel cake. It's made of a lot of things that you like, but don't go together. Does that make sense? I mean, when it's like let me just tell you this. I hate green bean casserole or English pea casserole. I hate it. I mean, English pea casserole, I can't describe my level of hate for green bean and English pea casserole. And Polly has to make this for Thanksgiving for some reason. But I hate it. And she always says, well, you like English peas? You like cheese? You like mushrooms? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But I don't like them together. I like liver too. And I like ice cream. But I don't eat liver ice cream. I like sushi and I like mashed potatoes, but I don't mix sushi in my mashed potatoes. So English pea casserole, holy God. Oh my God. I mean, if I went to the White House and they were serving English pea casserole, I would say to the President of the United States, I'm sorry, I'm an adult and I hate English pea casserole, and you guys just knock yourself out. I will sit here and try not to look at it. Okay? I mean, I hate it. All right, France. Mother's Day in France is celebrated by mothers not shaving under their arms. No, I made that up. They just already don't shave under their arms. But in France, Mother's Day is celebrated on the last Sunday of May or the first Sunday of June. And the idea of a Mother's Day in France originated during the Napoleonic era. Okay, so maybe we stole it from them. Maybe. I don't know. But it was during Napoleon's time when families with large numbers of children were presented with medals. And some localities still honor this tradition and present moms with medals on Mother's Day. That just seems kind of odd to me. But what kind of medal would you give your mom? I don't know. I don't know. Mother's Day in Germany is called Muttertag, and in Germany it's celebrated on the second Sunday of May, just like ours. It's believed that Mother's Day celebrations originated in Germany sometime in the Middle Ages, so maybe France stole it from Germany. Sometime in the Middle Ages, when relatives visited each other and wished each other great tidings for spring and the beginning of life. And today, Mother's Day in Germany is just pretty much like everywhere else in the world. Children give gifts and cards and flowers to their mom. But here's something for you. Mother's Day became very important in Nazi Germany. All right? Because I bet you didn't know this, but in Nazi Germany, mothers who bore 4 or more boys were presented with a Cross of Honor. And that's that. So 4 or more boys to be chewed into the German war machine. I always thought that was weird. In India, urban India, so now this is urban India. This is the cities, okay? Celebrates Mother's Day on the same day as the USA, second Sunday of every May. And children just like shower their moms with presents, and restaurants and retail stores are doing sales and Mother's Day sale. However, most of India, rural India, still remains unaware of this modern version of Mother's Day. Can you believe that? It's like if, we were having Mother's Day, but in Ocean Springs, Mississippi and Calhoun, Georgia, you just didn't know. You're just like, yeah, we don't know, I mean, and in parts of Arkansas, they probably don't know. How many Arkansas football players does it take to screw in a light bulb? We don't know. They don't have electricity in Arkansas. So Mother's Day, now this is in rural India. Mother's Day is about worshiping the female goddess Durga. People worship Mother Goddess Durga during this time and celebrate the triumph of good over evil. So, I mean, that's just amazing. I was like, did they not have the internet? Did they not have access to getting, the ads for Hallmark on your phone? Because I've said Hallmark now into my phone, so I'll probably get Hallmark commercials for the next 2 weeks. Anyway, in the Arab world, Arab countries in both Asia and Africa celebrate Mother's Day on the 21st of March, the first day of spring, when they say Mother Earth herself comes to life. So it's like she wasn't alive before. So it's the first day of spring, and Mother Earth comes to life. This started in Egypt when a journalist tried to promote the idea of a day honoring the mothers of the country. But the idea was initially ridiculed because it was a Western concept. We're not going to honor our mothers because those evil people from the West honored their mothers, so we're not going to honor our mothers. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But then slowly it got accepted, and it spread to other Arab countries, including Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Oman, Kuwait, and Iraq. Iran wasn't on the list. But in the Arab world, this day celebrates not only biological mothers, but every other motherly figure. So this is why teachers at school receive a lot of Mother's Day cards. And at home, it's common for the children to kiss their mother's hands as a sign of love and affection. So here's the last one. The last one is Ethiopia. This was just kind of an odd one. Mother's Day in Ethiopia is celebrated for 3 long days instead of just one. And I say 3 long days because it's like 3 24-hour days that they stay up and celebrate. And it's a massive celebration in Ethiopia with families indulging in feasts and gathering, and families enjoy traditional Ethiopian meals that consist of a dish called English pea casserole. No. That's good. They don't eat it. They hate it too. It's a well-known fact that Ethiopians hate English pea casserole. The Ethiopians eat this well-known dish called hash, and it's made of lamb, vegetables, and butter, and a traditional Ethiopian drink called the Ethiopian punch. So it makes me wonder because I couldn't find out what was in the Ethiopian punch, but it's a traditional drink in Ethiopia, and it's called the Ethiopian punch. It's probably Hawaiian punch and vodka or something, but anyway, Sandra Mirabelli says, I don't shave under my arms because they get waxed. That's a little too much information there, Sandra. And it's also that's a little bit of painful information. Oh my God. Wow. I mean, isn't that really, yeah? How do you know? Okay. Jennifer said we have a wonderful 23-year-old grandson, and he hates peas in any form. And what would you think of English pea casserole? Yeah, that would be his worst nightmare. I'm telling you. Jennifer Budd, we have 4 sons. A cross of honor? Yeah. Sandra Mirabelli says she has more than 4 boys. Are adopted boys counted? I don't know. You don't want this cross anyway. Well, you guys, Mother's Day is going to be great because we will have. What will we have on Mother's Day? You know, we've tended to go out to lunch on Mother's Day. Now, we used to cook for Mom, but now I think she's like tired of the boys cooking or something. Of course, Adam always wants to go to Waffle House. He thinks that's the best restaurant ever, Waffle House. But cat hook or tater tot casserole? Oh, please. I don't think so. I don't think so. We could have black jellybird egg casserole. That might be good. Just add a little sugar, heat them up. So, Mother's Day's coming up. Make sure you visit Austin Legacy Knives and get your mama's secret weapon. I was trying to think before we go of any story about my mom. You know, my mom would play the organ out and the piano in church. My dad was a minister of music, and so so Mama was either here sideways or here sideways, you know, and I'm out in the congregation, and my dad would sit in one of those king chairs up there, the preacher's preaching, my dad's in one of the king chairs, and my mom was right there where she was sideways to me, where if she heard something, she could go. That, and I would get that look. But I was very good at keeping a straight face and making my friends laugh. Because people say, were you the class clown, growing up? And no, I was not. I was the class wit. There is a difference. The class clown is the guy who runs naked across the football field in freezing weather. I was the one who talked him into doing it. Okay, so, but I could keep a straight face, and the music was a great time to get people laughing. Even though I did shoot a rubber band at a guy, there was a guy in our church in Dothan, and I think I was in the third grade, and this guy was bald-headed, and he would say, "Amen," a lot, "Amen." And I shot him with a rubber band right in the middle. I didn't mean to shoot him in the middle of an amen, but he went, "Hey, what?" like that. And that was I thought that was great. But Bob Woodall was just like doubled over laughing. And my mother, does one of these. Because I mean, why would she think that because some guy said, "Hey, what," that I had anything to do with it? But she looked right at me, and I was just looking at Bob, disapproving. But the music was always a good time to get my friends laughing, because you're singing hymns, and you could just like do a funny voice, and you would just look perfectly normal, but you do a funny voice, or exchange some words in there. And I remember one Easter Sunday, my masterpiece, one Easter Sunday when they sang "Up from the Grave He Arose." My next line was, it was "Up from the grave he arose with a mighty booger in his nose." And man, my friends were on the floor. They were on the floor. And I'm just like, I don't know. But their parents are all in the choir and watching them. But my mom, she would get jokes kind of. There's Kevin Perkins with innovative hymn lyrics. That's right. Kevin was a target of mine too. Kevin got targeted many times, and probably in church. But my mom was late to get jokes. And so sometimes when the preacher would do a joke and the congregation would laugh, and then like 30 seconds later, my mom would laugh over at the piano or the organ, and everybody heard her laugh, and the preacher would say, "Well, thank you, Joyce." I mean, I can't tell you how many times I heard that growing up with my mom late to it. And my dad was a crazy person, and so I don't know what in the world my dad did with my mom not getting the jokes. But anyway, all right, Judy Ann Will says Ethiopian punch is raspberry syrup, maraschino cherry juice, orange juice, lemon juice, pineapple juice, grape juice, and water, sparkling water, or lemon lime soda, ice, and garnish with orange slices. Whew. Wow. Well, there you go. So, yep. Cat Hooker said, "Time for the wooden spoon." That's exactly right. And Kevin Perkins says, "Suppressed laughter is a killer." Yeah, it is. In church, man. In church, when you're not supposed to be laughing and you can't quit laughing, it's a killer. It's a heart attack for a 10-year-old. I mean, it's the worst. And Kevin knows the time that we got to laughing the worst. It's a guy, and this was in Columbus, Mississippi, and there was a guy that was getting baptized, and And when he went under, he kicked and he splashed the water all over the choir. And it was wonderful. It was one of the greatest moments ever in church history. I mean, it was like, I baptize thee, my brother Stan, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And he goes down, and when he goes down, his legs came up and went like that. And I mean, it was like, it stunned us, and people in the choir were like this, and so it was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. Okay, we will see you Thursday. We'll be back Thursday with more crazy stuff and a Blue Plate special. Bye-bye.